Hello, hello, Karina here, coach and mentor for highly sensitive people, and creator of the program, Synchronize Your Life. Welcome to the Feel Lighter in 21 Days experiment. Today is day 16, and today's experiment is to remember the mirror. So just to really get my point across, I brought my little friend with me. Hello, friend. The mirror. Okay, obviously this is a literal mirror. Let's see if I can get this. Yeah, not as easy. Anyway, the mirror. Hello, mirror. Okay, what does this mean? What is the mirror? Goodness gracious. I'm getting very comfortable in these Facebook Lives. So, hi Sarah, welcome. So today we're talking about the mirror, okay? And as I just said, the one I just shared with you was the literal mirror, but the one I really mean is the metaphorical one, okay? So if you've read the book, The Four Agreements, then you might know what I'm talking about. This is the smoky mirror, as the author would share. And this is the mirror that we carry around with us every single day. It's through the eyes that we see, and even for highly sensitive people, we can go and say as to the people that we feel. So everywhere you go, you're always wondering, always assessing, am I safe? Am I okay? Am I in line? Am I in order? There's something in our brain, it's like a survival mechanism that kicks in. It's very unconscious. And oftentimes you don't even realize it's happening, but you start telling yourself a story. The minute you start to see that something is different from you, you start to compare yourself. So either you might tell yourself, oh, I'm better than that, or you might tell yourself, wow, that person is really fill in the blank. And immediately you feel like you're not enough. Maybe you feel you are not pretty enough, or you're not smart enough, or you're not successful enough, or, we can go on and on and on. Guys, maybe you want to share with me some not enoughs that you experience. Of course, I'm only sharing from my experience, from what I've heard from women. But maybe for a guy, if you're comparing yourself, I'm not strong enough. Maybe you being seen as sensitive and being seen as weak means that you're not strong enough, you can't handle it, and you're too sensitive, so therefore you're not enough. So this is a perpetual story that not just you, but the majority of humans tell themselves. Like I said, we do this as a survival mechanism. Even in high school, there's something that kicks into the brain, right in middle school. There's psychology research around this, where you start to compare yourself, you start to assess and see, like, am I meeting up, am I kind of in line with the crowd, or am I out of line? And it helps you assess and see what you need to shift and change. And apparently this is just a very natural thing to do, because that's just the level of the type of brain that you have. And as you get older, the reason why maybe you think, oh, I don't really compare myself anymore, or I don't really feel enough, it's because your mind is starting to grow and evolve as you get older. But it doesn't matter what your age you're at. It's likely maybe the story's going to change, but the not enough little gremlin is going to creep in many different ways. Okay, so as you get older, it depends on what's important to you. So maybe when you were in high school, if being cool was important to you, or being accepted or belonging was important to you, and you felt that you weren't, then maybe you'd say, I'm not cool enough, or I'm weird, or I'm different, or I'm not popular enough, whatever it is. Okay, and then as you get older, maybe it's like you're comparing yourself to your peers or to some family members who, maybe took a different career path than you did, and you're at a different place. So you're comparing yourself to them. And you're saying, oh, they make more money than me. They have their second house now, right? Okay, so obviously it depends on what you value. Maybe it's like, for me, I do a lot of traveling. Maybe there are people who I know I felt this. And, you know, when I start looking at pictures of people traveling, I start to get a little jealous and envious. And I was like, oh, I don't travel enough. Silly, right? Okay, and maybe, you know, and I would even say, so there's comparison and there's also inspiration. Okay, so you could either let people bring you down, comparing yourself and telling the story you're not enough, or you can let that person inspire you to get clear. Is that really what I want? So that's a question that you always want to ask yourself when you find yourself looking in the mirror of someone else, comparing and seeing what they're doing. So oftentimes I see that if there's someone who is several steps ahead of me in whatever capacity, I have to ask myself the way to get myself out of this comparison loop. I have to say, what they have, is that what I really want? Because if it's what I really want, then why wouldn't I just go pursue it? Okay, and so just think about that, okay? Is it what you really want? Is what they have what you really, really in your heart wants? Or is this just coming from your headspace, thinking that it's never going to be enough? So check yourself. Are you comparing yourself? Are you looking in the mirror? Okay, so I want to share something with you. The reason why this came up today was because I'm going to be taking some photos for my business when I get back to New York. And I'm all nervous because, like, I don't know, it's kind of scary. I don't really like modeling, just was never my thing. Always felt like very like forced, or like I had to do a certain thing or be a certain way. But I mean, the reason why I chose my photographer, she did my wedding, was because I feel really comfortable around her, and she's also highly sensitive. And Nicole, if you're watching this right now, hi, and just thank you for, you know, helping me feel really comfortable on my wedding day and capturing our day beautifully. So Nicole and I are going to take some pictures for my business, and I wanted to get some ideas. I wanted to see, like, okay, like, what are some styles of clothes I like? What are some, you know, shots that I want to take? What are some locations that I could really see myself at? So I started looking at a few other people who I admire and who are doing really great things in the world, and I'm looking at their websites. And I don't really do this. I actually don't look at anyone's websites, because kind of just, you know, in the past it really put me in the spiral of comparison. So if I'm going to look at someone's website, I have a very clear intention of why I'm there. But today I was looking at this one woman's website and seeing all of her pictures, and of course she's gorgeous and tan, and she travels. It's like her life, her full-time job is basically to travel and to help the world. And very quietly, the little voice, I don't even remember exactly what it said. Maybe it was something like, "You'll never be as pretty as her," or like, "You'll never have a smile like hers," or, oh my God, like, I don't even know anymore. But very, very silly things, because I know that I love my smile. I love my body. I love me as I am. At every stage of that I've been in, I've always tried to find a way to love me. And then something literally like a lightning bolt struck through me. It was like one of those moments of a miracle. And that's the reason why I want to share with you today. And there was like a very clear voice, my inner voice of guidance, of course, very clear voice said to me, "The beauty that you see in her is the beauty that you see in yourself. The success that you see in her is the success that you see in yourself." Let's breathe that in. I'm going to say that one more time. The beauty that you see in her, or the beauty that you see in him, is the beauty that you see in yourself. And the success that you see in him, or the success that you see in her, is the beauty that is the success that you see in yourself. It's really hard to see something in someone else when you don't already see it in yourself. Okay, so our mirror experiment works two ways. Some of you might be aware of it in regards to the way of getting triggered. So, hold on. Got some traffic over here. So some of you might be aware of the mirroring method, the mirror thing that happens when you get triggered. And in regards to someone does something and it really makes you angry, pisses you off, and hopefully you have some awareness that if it's bothering you about them, it's likely that there's an unconscious part of you that bothers you that about you. So we always like to believe that, like, oh, I never do that. But that's the blind spot. So everyone has a blind spot. And that's where the mirror comes in. And when you aren't able to put that mirror in, and to see that blind spot, the world brings you a person. The world brings you a person to mirror that back to you so that you can see every part of yourself. The world wants you to learn about yourself. Okay, so it brings you life partners, friends, family. It brings you co-workers, kids, okay? They're pissing you off. If they're like triggering you left and right, if you are just so annoyed with them, it's not them. All you need to do is look at yourself, because you will start to see that when you accept deeper parts of yourself, the things that other people do eventually won't bother you. So, one example. Frank, if you're watching this, I love you. Thanks for being some amazing teaching lessons for me. So one of my triggers with Frank was blame. So I absolutely hated it. Sorry about that. I absolutely hated it anytime he blamed me for anything. And whether we're driving in a car or I forgot something or something happened with the dogs, like seriously, like the dogs did something. All of a sudden, if it was bad, it was my fault. So I would get so upset and so angry at him, just like, like what the hell? Like, it's not always my fault. And then I would get defensive. And even if it was maybe a little bit of my fault, I would get super defensive and I would put it back on him. No, it's your fault. You have to change, okay? And I would always just say to him, stop blaming me, thinking that that's what was going to make the situation better. But because I know this truth, because I know today's experiment on remembering the mirror, I allowed myself the space to see where in my life I was blaming. Flies are back. I'm going to miss these Hawaii flies when I'm gone. I won't forget about that. Okay, so the next part of once I became aware that I was blaming, or willing to see that I could even blame. Oh my God. Okay, sometimes you're like, I'm not going to even admit that. Like, I don't do that, right? Maybe if you're someone who hates it when people are late, it just gets you so angry, right? Are you willing to even consider that perhaps you're someone who is late to things? Okay, maybe your version of late is different from theirs. Maybe theirs is like worse than yours, but like you're still late. Okay, so same thing as me, blame. Maybe Frank's version was like way worse than something I would ever do, but I'm still blaming. And so when there's a part of myself, because I didn't see or accept this blind spot part of myself, it came through into my husband. So then I brought it into a game. I said, okay, this really pisses me off every time you blame. So we're going to play a game, and we are going to play the blame game. But we're going to lean into this, and every time you blame or anytime I blame, we have to call it out. So sometimes Frank doesn't really play these games with me, but I think this time he was willing to do so just because he wanted to like point the finger at me and be like, see, you did it. But this was good. I needed this. I really needed to see the ways that I was blaming in order to shift this pattern, this trigger. So I slowly but surely started to see how I was blaming in many situations. And then I was able to consciously choose how I wanted to see the situation, how I wanted to respond. And then the third phase of it was next time seeing other people blaming, and it almost triggered me, but not. Instead, I'm aware of it. I'm like, oh, interesting. They're blaming. I'm saying that from kind of a neutral space. And in my experience, the minute you can acknowledge a pattern in someone else without you getting triggered by it, it shows you that you are starting to shift that pattern. So these are the lessons of remembering the mirror, okay? And I just shared around remembering the mirror in regards to how it triggers you, okay? But we also have to remember the flip side of the coin. We have to remember that if you start to see something in someone else that is maybe better than you, quote unquote better than you, remember, you are seeing yourself. You are seeing a version of yourself. You can't see something in someone else that is not in you. Okay, and maybe, because we're so hard on ourselves, we're so critical of ourselves, we're so judgmental, oftentimes you can't even celebrate the small things. You can't even see the beauty, the joy, the peace, the connection. And you just like, oh, well, that's not that big a deal. Like, you take it for granted. I know. I do it too. If you see the beauty out there, it's because the beauty is inside of you. So what might happen if you look in the mirror, or if you look at someone you admire and you get a little triggered and you say, the beauty I see in them is the beauty I see in me. The success I see in them is the success I see in me. Again, let's breathe that in. So, day 16, remember the mirror. There's no such thing as competition. There's no such thing as comparison. There really is only the mirror. And the mirror is always here to teach you about yourself. That is all. The mirror is neutral, and it shows you everything that you need to know about you. So if you're committed to learning about yourself, remember the mirror, because this is going to be one of the greatest gifts to you. Okay, so whether or not you explore this experiment today, or you choose to bring it to another day, or whenever you're watching this video, be aware. Your awareness is the thing that is going to bring you forward into every next chapter in life. There's the ego who's comparing, and then there's the awareness of the ego. Who do you think is bigger? The awareness. Okay, the awareness sees all. The question is, are you putting yourself in such a limited box that you can only see the ego? Okay, I call it zoom out. Well, one of my mastermind members, who's been with me for 2 years now, he calls it zooming out. I love it. When we're so zoomed in, we're comparing, right? We're so stuck in ego. We're like, put ourselves in this little box. Okay, and the minute we give ourselves permission to zoom out, we connect in with awareness, and then you're able to experience your relationships, your business, your life, your health, everything. Everything can be a mirror to you. Your animals, you're able to experience it with more joy, and of course, with more lightness, okay? Because that's why we're here. We're here to feel lighter. Not to carry around all this heavy anxiety and depression all the time because, oh, I'm not good enough, or, oh, I'll never be like that, right? No. Right here, right now, ask yourself, am I willing to see the mirror? So, leave a comment below. Share with me. Share with me. Please comment. Please share. Hi, Aileen. How are you? So nice to see you here. Thanks for being here. So comment. Share. I want to hear like stories. Like I want to hear stories. Like I don't want you guys to just watch my videos and just be like, oh, Karina, I'm taking this with me. No, I'm here to engage with you. I'm not just here to create some videos. I'm here to talk and connect. Okay, so so maybe share some examples of when you realized that you were being triggered, and either it was something that you were doing, that's a shadow part of you, or it was a beautiful part of you, something that you needed to own yourself, something that you really needed to step into. Okay, maybe a part of you that you needed to see. Okay, we have the mirror, right? Hi, mirror. The mirror is our friend. The mirror is a neutral tool for us. All right, so leave a comment below. Share this video. If you like it, go on YouTube. I have the share button there. I'm not sure if you could share it directly from our Facebook group, but go ahead, share the video. If you have other friends you want to invite into this group, please do so. Okay? And also remember, next Friday, June 23rd, it's actually going to be the new moon, which is going to be a fantastic day for this webinar on how to make your vision a reality, okay, for aspiring, highly sensitive leaders. So we're going to hold some space. We're going to get really clear on what your vision is. Okay, we're going to drop into your heart. And I promise you, oftentimes you think you don't know what you want, but it's really that you're just not giving yourself permission to want it. Okay? Come to this space next Friday. You can join me live. If you absolutely can't make it, maybe you're in a different time zone, you can listen to the recording. But if you come, I'm going to have some Q&A at the end. I'm going to hold space for Q&A, so bring your questions. Okay, I'd be happy to connect with you and answer anything that comes forward. Okay, but we're going to connect in with the heart. Connecting with the heart? You're going to give the mind a break? What? Yeah, we're going to practice connecting with the heart. We're going to practice asking the heart, what do you want? Okay, what do you want? There's so many things that you see in this world as a highly sensitive person. Your observation skills are phenomenal. Now the question is, how can you bring the visions that you have to life? This is where so many people get stuck. And it doesn't have to be that way. Okay? Let's start to bring it to life. Let's bring it from the energy world to the physical world. So, next Friday, June 23rd, it's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, if you need to check the time zone so you can get the right time zone, make sure you do that. Click the link connected to this video. It'll give you the link to register so you can get the webinar details on how to call in live and or receive the recording. Okay, and again, invite your friend. If you have a friend that you want to invite to this, join the webinar with, then go ahead, you can do that as well, of course. All right, but we are here to bring the visions to life. We're here to create a new world, because really the world belongs to those who have a vision of it. Okay, and we don't want the visions of people who maybe don't have some great intentions, okay, or maybe their intentions are only for superficial means. You know, we don't want to give them all the power to create all these, things that are going to destroy our world. They can exist, they can create things that will give them financial power, but we, as highly sensitive people, we also need to step up. It's really important that you're bringing your heartfelt vision into the world, okay? Whether you want to help people, you want to help the environment, you want to help animals, okay? Everyone has a different passion. We're going to get clear on that, we're going to hold space for that, and I'm going to share with you the system that I use to bring it to life. All right, so I look forward to seeing you there. Comment below, maybe give this video a like. Thank you for being here. And of course, day 16, remember the mirror. Oh, so many times. This is like some of the biggest breakthroughs I've ever had. All right, have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.